That conversation shook me. If patients are doing everything right, taking their cholesterol pills, keeping their blood pressure in check, yet still ending up in stroke rehab, then something doesn't add up. It means we may be looking in the wrong direction, or at least not seeing the whole picture. You see, for decades, we've been told to fear cholesterol, to obsess over blood pressure numbers, and while these markers do matter, they are not the root cause of most strokes in seniors. They're signs on the dashboard, not the engine problem. So what is the real engine problem? Today, I want to show you the two silent, overlooked culprits that are behind the majority of strokes I see in older adults. They don't show up on your standard blood test. Most doctors don't talk about them. And worst of all, they're getting more common with age, diet, and even the medications we think are helping. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to give you clarity. And more importantly, a path forward. Because once you understand these two hidden triggers, you can take real steps to protect your brain, your independence, and your life. Let's break them down, starting with the first one, something I call the oxygen thief. They did everything they were told was right, yet the tragedy still happened. These two stories just don't add up. They suggest our focus has been in the wrong place. We're taught to fear a number on a lab report, but controlling that number clearly isn't the whole story. It may not even be the most important part. We've been taught a simple equation. High cholesterol equals clogged arteries. That equation is wrong. Cholesterol floating in your blood is not a plaque. Plaque is a physical lesion, a blockage that has formed inside the artery wall. Cholesterol doesn't just stick to a healthy artery wall on its own. For a plaque to form, two things must happen first. The lining of the artery must be damaged, and the cholesterol particles themselves must also be damaged or oxidized. This means you can have high cholesterol and perfectly clean arteries. And on the flip side, you can have normal cholesterol levels but be at high risk if your artery walls are damaged, and your cholesterol is the type that is easily damaged. This brings us to LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. But even that is a huge oversimplification. LDL comes in two main types, a large, light, fluffy kind, and a small, dense, hard kind. The large, fluffy particles are mostly harmless. Think of them like big beach balls that bounce off a healthy artery wall. It's the small, dense particles that are the troublemakers. They are small enough to get into cracks in a damaged artery wall and start the plaque building process. The problem is, your standard blood test doesn't tell you which kind you have. It just gives you one total number. That's like knowing the total weight of traffic on a highway, but not knowing if it's made of bicycles or semi-trucks. The difference is critical. So, blaming cholesterol for strokes is missing the point. The problem isn't the cholesterol itself, it's the condition of your arteries and the type of cholesterol you have. When we only focus on treating a symptom, like high cholesterol, we ignore the root cause, and that can be deadly. A report from PubMed noted that prescription drugs are the third leading cause of death, right after heart disease and cancer. The most shocking part, half of those deaths occurred in people who took their medication exactly as prescribed. They did exactly what they were told. Why? Because most of these drugs are for lifestyle issues, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, things that are largely preventable. When someone says, "I have diabetes, but it's controlled with medication," the truth is, nothing is actually controlled. The root cause is still there, and it's getting worse. That underlying imbalance, left unchecked, grows into heart disease and cancer. If you consider that treating only the symptom allows the root cause to create other deadly diseases, then prescription drugs become the real #1 cause of death. This is where we have to stop. Stop covering up symptoms and start facing the root causes. So what are those causes? What are the real enemies silently damaging your arteries every day? There are two of them. The first enemy is chronic inflammation. But what really causes it? First, let me explain. Chronic inflammation isn't the redness and pain you see with a sprained ankle. That's acute inflammation, a normal and helpful response from your body. Chronic inflammation is something else entirely. It's a low-level, damaging process that goes on for months or even years. This process directly attacks and weakens the inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium. This lining is incredibly delicate, but it's vital for keeping your blood vessels smooth and healthy. When it's hit by chronic inflammation, the endothelium becomes rough, damaged, and cracked. This damage is the first step toward a stroke. It creates the exact environment where small, dense, and damaged cholesterol particles can get into the artery wall, starting the chain reaction that forms plaque. Let me be clear, the body sends cholesterol to these damaged sites as part of a repair mechanism. The problem isn't that cholesterol is present, it's why it has to be there in the first place. The root cause is that the artery wall is inflamed and damaged, and the main reasons for this trace right back to our modern lifestyle and diet. A top cause is sugar and refined carbohydrates. Bread, pasta, cookies, and especially sugary drinks cause your insulin levels to be constantly high. Chronically high insulin is one of the most powerful drivers of inflammation known. Next are processed industrial vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and canola oil. Many of these oils have a very high ratio of inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids compared to anti-inflammatory omega-3s. This imbalance pushes the body into a constant state of inflammation. Also, long-term stress and chronic lack of sleep are major contributors. Both increase the hormone cortisol, which, when high for long periods, promotes inflammatory responses throughout the body. So how do you know if you have chronic inflammation? Indirect signs can include joint pain, constant fatigue, or skin problems. But for concrete proof, there's a critical blood test you can ask for. It's called HSCRP, High Sensitivity C-reactive protein. This test accurately measures the level of low-grade inflammation in your body, giving you a clear picture of your vascular health. You probably already know that high blood pressure causes strokes. But what causes high blood pressure? It's a condition called insulin resistance. When your body becomes resistant to insulin, your blood insulin levels stay high all the time. High insulin signals the kidneys to hold on to salt and water. More water in the blood means higher blood volume, which increases pressure on the artery walls. At the same time, high insulin also contributes to making the artery walls stiffer and less flexible. So, high blood pressure isn't just a number to be lowered with a pill. It's a warning sign that your body's metabolism is in serious trouble. When you combine these two factors, an inflamed artery wall that is weak and constant high pressure wearing it down from the inside, you have created the perfect recipe for disaster. This is the direct mechanism that leads to a blood vessel getting blocked or bursting, causing a stroke, heart attack, and many other dangerous diseases. So how do we stop them? The simplest way is to stop feeding them. This means sodas, cookies, breakfast cereals, white bread, and pasta need a hard second look. Every time you eat them, your body responds by releasing a flood of insulin. Constantly high insulin is one of the most powerful signals for inflammation. The second fuel source, and perhaps the most dangerous because it hides behind a healthy label, is industrial vegetable oils. Oils like soybean, corn, canola, and sunflower oil contain huge amounts of omega-6 fatty acids. Our bodies need a delicate balance of omega-6 and omega-3 to control inflammation. The modern diet has thrown this ratio completely off balance, pushing the body into a state of constant inflammation. Check the labels on your salad dressings, mayonnaise, and packaged foods. You'll be surprised how often they show up. I suggest you add 3 things to your diet. The first and most important is healthy fats. Natural fats are an essential building block for every cell membrane and play a key role in regulating your body's inflammatory response. Focus on sources like extra virgin olive oil, avocados, nuts, and especially fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, a type of fat proven to have strong anti-inflammatory effects. The second is high-quality protein. Protein provides the necessary amino acids to repair and rebuild tissues all over your body, including the endothelium of your artery walls. Getting enough protein also helps preserve muscle mass, which is crucial for maintaining a healthy metabolism as we age. Choose clean protein sources like grass-fed meat, poultry, eggs, and fish. The third is low-starch vegetables. They are a primary source of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. These antioxidant compounds help protect your cells from oxidative damage, one of the key mechanisms that causes cell damage and promotes inflammation. Prioritize leafy greens like spinach and kale, along with broccoli, cauliflower, and bell peppers. These three components will help your body reduce inflammation, repair damage, and maintain healthy blood vessels. Your next step is to work with your doctor to request a few key tests that reveal what's really happening inside your body. The first, and perhaps most important, is the hs-CRP test, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. This test directly measures low-grade chronic inflammation, a hidden driver of many serious health problems. Second, ask for a fasting insulin test. Unlike standard glucose tests, this provides a much clearer picture of your metabolic health and how well your body is managing blood sugar. Third, when it comes to cholesterol, don't stop at the basic panel. Request an NMR lipoprofile to analyze your LDL particle size. This will show whether your LDL particles are mostly the large, fluffy type, which are less harmful, or the small, dense type that can easily penetrate artery walls and contribute to plaque buildup. Remember, the type of LDL matters far more than just the total number. To stay ahead of silent risks, keep watching our videos about the early warning signs of stroke and heart attack and discover powerful ways to prevent them.